Firstly, the work area should be clearly defined and barricaded off. Signage showing that scaffolding is being erected and is not yet safe for use should be displayed. Before you start, count and check off the various parts against a delivery docket or order to make sure that you have received the correct components. Here, a length of scaffold tube is being vertically lined up with the corner of the eaves. This aligns the scaffolding with the building. The parts for the first lift are laid out to roughly set up the positions of the sole plates. It's easier to place ledges and transoms between two sole plates than to measure. The sole plates are put into place. It's important to make sure the sole plates form a firm foundation. The sole plates are levelled. This often means that the ground underneath them needs to be excavated. Use the base plate to compact down the sole plate. Now you need to check that the position of the sole plates and the base plates are correct. Careful preparation at this stage means a good foundation for the scaffold. You can see how the layout of the base lift is starting to take shape. The base plates should be adjusted to compensate for uneven ground. When making adjustments to the base plates, ensure you have scope for adjustment later. Now the first bay can be erected. Try to start at the highest point. Insert the base plates into the standards. Do this on both sides. Working as a team, the standards are lifted and the transom is inserted into the lowest V connectors. Notice on the right how the standard has been rotated so the highest V connectors go along the faces of the scaffold. The standards at the other end of the bay are then held in place and the ledges are attached. The final transom is inserted linking the standard. This bay is levelled using a spirit level. The level is adjusted using the base plate adjustment. This is completed on all four sides. The distance from the building is now checked and the bay is moved if required. If the bay needs to be moved, use a lever to move the structure rather than manually lifting it. Often the sole plates are not in the perfect place and will need to be adjusted. You then need to check that the bay is square. Do this by measuring the diagonal dimensions of the bay. These measurements should be taken from the inside of each standard. An alternative method to check the square of the bay is to see how the planks align with the transom. As you can see in this case, the bay needs to be adjusted. The pins and wedges are hammered into place. Then the upper transom and ledges are installed and fixed off. This is the first bay completed. We know this bay is level and square. The rest of the scaffold can be built off this first bay. The gap here allows for the hop-up brackets. This is one type of modular scaffolding. Other systems exist such as cup lock. The rest of the bays for the first lift are now constructed. These need to be levelled and aligned with the building as you are going. If broken or damaged components are found, like this bent wedge, they should be set aside and the hire company informed about the faulty equipment. This lift is planked out to form a working platform to make it easier to add the upper ledges and transoms. An access bay is then erected on the non-working face of the structure. A stairs system will be used inside the bay, providing easy access to the scaffold. The ground in this area is soft, and a larger sole plate is used to distribute the load. The access bay is erected in the same order as the bays in the main run. The transom is attached to a new standard and to an existing standard on the main run. Level the base plates as you go. Because of the slope on this site, the base plates need to be adjusted to quite different levels. The upper transoms and ledges for the access bay are now assembled. At this stage, the first lift for all the bays of the main scaffolding are complete, and now bracing needs to be added. The transverse braces are added to stop the scaffold distorting and swaying. As each lift is added, these usually form a zigzag pattern. The braces fit more easily